Hey again. All right, so the thing I'm thinking about talking about right now is, since I'm on this detox kick and it's going to be coming up in my world, I would like to share with you the things that I notice shifting in my body when I cleanse. So again, this is not taking into account the first 3 days because, if you're a relatively healthy person, and the first 3 days may not give you any issues. However, we all have toxic loads. So again, those things like headaches and nausea and things like that might occur. But for me, this is what I see. We all have different ways of storing toxins within our body. Some of us store it as fat layers. Some of us store it, I guess this is, sorry to interrupt that flow, but when people say, well, diabetes runs in my family, or heart disease runs in my family, or cancer runs in my family. So here's the thing, is that we might have a little bit of a predisposition to how things affect us. But there's this great quote that I love. Genes load the gun and lifestyle pulls the trigger. So you may have a lot of these issues that run in your family, but they don't have to affect you. Our bodies renew. Like, our livers are brand new every 7 years, and especially if you're actively working on them. So for me, when I'm at the point where I'm at right now, I'll tell you how I feel. I am approximately 20-30 pounds overweight right now. And I can see it in my face. I can see it in my eyes. I can see it in my hair. My hair starts to become drier than it typically is. My skin is drier. It's a little more, it's like a wrinkly paper mache kind of feel. One of my spots where my body stores toxins, besides in my fat cells, is my skin. So I tend to get a lot more warts, skin tags. I like to call them barnacles, things like that, red dots. And I think I like to think of them as my little toxin storage units. And so when I do cleanses, especially if it's a longer one, these actually start to disappear. Like, it's phenomenal. So right now I have this kind of, I don't want to say they're back boobs, but it's kind of this like weight that I kind of feel. I can feel it. Like, I normally can't feel that kind of thing. My inner thighs touch right now. It's not comfortable. I'm hot. I get hotter. And I know I'm going through menopause, but it's different than that. It's just, you're carrying around an extra good chunk of weight. Is what my body's doing. I get a little brain foggier. I don't have as much energy. I'm lethargic. I procrastinate more. My tongue, I'm just gonna show you. Yep, that is a not healthy tongue. It's white, it's cracked. So yeah, not a happy tongue. And what else? I have normally a very, very healthy bowel system, which I love and I'm very thankful for. And it can tend to get off a bit. My farts smell a little worse than normal. Sometimes when I eat things, I feel instantly like bloated, where typically that's not an issue. My vision can get a little worse. My hearing can get a little worse. My heart feels like sometimes it pounds a little bit harder, which I do have some heart things that run in my family. So this is something to think about. blood pressure, my blood pressure goes up. My blood glucose level, which is okay, so here's a couple of things. Blood pressure. One should always be monitoring their blood pressure, especially when they get older, like us. And it's kind of like a silent killer, they call it, because there's a lot of times there's no symptoms for this. And things like diabetes and heart disease and all those things are really easily reversed when you really focus and pay attention to your diet and lifestyle, things like that. You know, it's pretty easy and inexpensive to get a blood pressure monitor. And I also with glucose. So this is our sugar level in our body. And this is a big one in our culture right now, with diabetes. So your waking blood glucose level should be below 100. And if it ever gets over, I shouldn't be spouting statistics right now, but I believe 125 is like the pre-diabetic realm, and then I don't remember if it's 130 or 135, 140, but this is a really important thing to monitor. And again, it's one of those things where you can control and you can shift. And once you hit that point, we don't want to be having to take insulin. We don't want to be losing body parts. So this is a thing to think about. So when I do cleanse, so this is what I'm going to do when I start. I like to take a baseline. I like to record how I'm feeling, what my body's like, the things that are different than typical, like all the things I just mentioned. I like to weigh myself. I love MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is a great free app that you can log weight, you can log your body measurements, which I would highly encourage. I would encourage before you start any cleanse to notate your measurements. I would do your neck, your chest, right across where your nipples are, your waist, meaning the skinniest part of your waist, which is typically maybe a little bit above your belly button or close by. I would also do the largest part of your waist, because people that have beer bellies and things like that might be a little bit lower, and that's a lot bigger. Your hips measure where your hip bones are. Your inner thigh, I typically measure one leg, always the same leg, always the same spot. I also measure my upper arm. Fortunately, I have this tattoo. I always measure the same spot, same arm. And that's about it. My wrists and my lower arm limbs and my lower leg limbs don't fluctuate on me, so I don't bother with those. But if they do, if you're a person who, perhaps your lower legs get really big or your arms get really big, those could be things to measure as well. And then how I typically do it is I always measure myself the same time every day, right when I wake up, before I've ate anything, before I've drank anything. If you have to pee or poo, that's great. Eliminate that weight, and don't do it every day. I recommend, if you're doing a long extended version, if you want to weigh yourself every day, that's fine, but our bodies shift a lot. And remember that muscle weighs more than fat. So sometimes you can just not be seeing too much of a difference. A very, very small change on the scale, that's not what I go by. I go by, first of all, how I feel in my clothes, how I feel energetically, how I feel in my body. Do I have those back flaps, or did those go away? My weight could have even gone up, but I could feel better. So I do it once a week. I do my measurements once a week. So, I'll take the neck and all that stuff beforehand. And then a week later, I'll take those measurements again and I'll put them in my FitnessPal. And it's really great. It also can be linked with your Apple Health, and you can monitor your activity and you can take notes and things like that. So I love that. I also take photos of myself. You can just do a selfie. I hide them in my photos because I don't want them to pop up on the screen. I wear the same thing at the beginning versus the end. So say I wear a sports bra with a pair of underwear or boy shorts or something like that at the beginning. I'll wear the same thing at the end so I can see the difference. And so also, I'm a big fan of journaling and notating how you're feeling. Did your energy level go up? When I did the water fast, it was the most extreme for me because so the 40-day water fast. Now, again, I'm not encouraging anyone to do 40-day water fast right now at all without help. And if you are curious, please reach out to me and I can direct you to some people that have been really helpful in my world. But it is notated a lot in, I think it's like 70 times in the Bible. And Pythagoras, would require people that was coming to study with him to do this, because what it does is not only does it clean out your physical body, but it cleans out your emotional, your spiritual, your mental bodies. And I know when I did mine, I came to a place where I couldn't go into movie theaters and watch movies anymore. It was too much for my eyes, too much for my ears. I had to go sit in the car. I couldn't smell certain smells. I was so high, like on a natural high, like connected to all elements. It was a really profound, amazing experience. So I get that part. But journal, record these things for yourself. The great thing about nowadays is that we can use this like I'm doing right now and just, take a video, throw it on your YouTube channel. You can make it private. Nobody else has to see it, but that way you don't have to have stored data on your phone, taking up a lot of space. And, so, I think that's about all I have to say about that right now. Again, I am looking forward to moving forward on this journey with you. I am unclear as to which cleanse I will be doing first with you, but I'll keep you posted. Something to look forward to. And I'm really looking forward to, especially coming on summer, like just feeling better in my body. I know a lot of people do things like this because they want to look better in a swimsuit and things like that, which, I understand for sure. I'm a little older, so that part doesn't quite appeal to me. I actually appreciate myself being able to love myself in all of my body forms. However, when it gets warm and it's hot, and it's so nice to be able to feel comfortable putting on your clothes. It's so nice to be able to feel comfortable putting on swimsuits and going swimming and having energy, and just feels good. Feels really good. And I'm a procrastinator, and people don't necessarily be like, oh yeah, I'm doing a cleanse, but afterwards you're like, yes, oh, I feel so good. So anyway, all right, peace out, have a great day. I'll see you next time.